If it ain't NFL jock, just turn that shit off.
Yo, man. We back with another one and another one, man. This is What We're All Thinking podcast, Stories Behind the Craft. Today, I got a special guest for y'all. It's crazy because, like I was just telling her, it's been a year since we sat down and did something. She interviewed me on her platform, and I always wanted her to come sit down because the things she was saying on Intervision TV, it kind of made a lot of sense. So I kind of wanted to get her insights from her point of view. And I just did Aspire podcast, and she was talking about you as well. So it's good to finally get her in a chair. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I am Tanya from Talk Your Shit podcast. Well, we have real conversations about real experiences. I really like to talk about the hard life experiences. But yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
Definitely. What's your word of the day?
What's my word of the day? Enjoy the process.
Why that?
Because I think we often think we know how everything is going to go down, and we don't. We have to figure it out. You know, I used to be I'm gonna say that loosely. I used to be heavily in the church, and I'm not necessarily on the religious side as far as to going into the building anymore. And I remember when praying for things and those things not coming to pass kind of helped me to figure out and enjoy the process, right? Because it's some things that I thought just because I asked for and I asked it of God, then it was going to happen. Yeah. And when I noticed that it didn't happen, then I have to realize that everything is intentional, right? So if everything is intentional, I take the label of good and bad off of things and just believe that whatever is happening, is in my best.
Correct.
I know it wants what's best for me.
Definitely. So what made you not want to go inside because essentially it's crazy that you brought up church, because I had a random guy came in, had a conversation with me. He was like, how you say you love God, or how you potentially are a child of God, and you don't go to his house. And I was like, I mean, I still do my prayers. I still have a relationship with him. Church is not something I prefer in a sense.
That's a building. So to tell someone why you not go to his house when my body is his home. Right. So why you don't commune with me is what I would have asked. Why you don't come fellowship with me?
I mean, essentially, it ended up being a good conversation. Yeah. It just dawned on me, and then it just connected when you was like, basically, like, you don't go to church anymore. So
no more is a stretch, but I definitely don't do it on the regular, and it's gonna have to be. Lord gonna have to tell me loudly to go in the building, because after a while you get tired of the religion, right? It's so repetition, and you just keep talking about the same thing over and over again.
Definitely. So what's something that like help you with your faith and like keep believing in Him every single day?
Something that helps me. I don't know. Trials and tribulations, they keep me focused. It lets me know that God is real and present. Right. Right. So I think that if we don't have those things, then we could easily forget about God. So being reminded of God through experiences lets me know that He's real and to keep believing.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about your platform and what you do and stuff like that, essentially.
Yeah. All right. So originally, oh my goodness, because it's been maybe almost 6 years. It was supposed to originally be We Lit, and I was kind of going to be coming from a more religious standpoint. Really? To be honest, but I changed it, right? So my lifestyle changed. But I'm still a child of God at heart, and everything again for me is intentional, right? So experiences are testimonies. And I want to know, right? Because what you go through may help me or may help someone else, Right, so that's usually what my platform is about. We're talking about experiences so it can help one another not only relate to each other, but get to understand each other because we're all different. And I
Definitely.
think that once we understand that we're all different, then I won't have this expectation of me from you, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I should be able to look at things from your perspective, right? So that's pretty much what the platform is about. Is really testimonies, but you use the word experience, and then I allow you to speak it in your own way.
And your own truth.
So talk your shit is a door opener.
Right.
It's enticing. It's gonna pull you in, right? So people like,
Definitely.
I know she didn't go the opposite direction. Yeah, did I?
No, I don't. Me personally, I don't think so. Cause I feel like you let people be raw and authentic in their own way.
Correct.
In a sense, like you don't hold back, and you're not scared to have certain conversations in a sense as well. So it's like, what made you want to go that route? Cause some people, cause when I first started, I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to essentially just, have my hands crossed, look you in the eye,
Right.
not look down. So what made you want to go that route? Like, okay, off the dribble, this is me, and
Right.
this is what I'm gonna bring to the table.
Aye. Cause I don't want to be nobody else but me. To be honest with you, even I was supposed to originally start by myself, and it was supposed to be We Lit. Once the podcast actually came off the ground, it was done by me and 3 young ladies.
Mm-hmm.
It was one female that was my cousin. Her name was Monique, and then the other young lady was one of my best friends. Her name was Kiana, and we were called Spoken with Purpose, right?
Right.
So we were some of the first people from the neighborhood, right? And nothing that we had pretty much seen, right? Where you're gonna go live, and they were in studio sessions where we actually had a live audience where everybody could actually tune into it. So what we wanted to do is bring our personalities to the screen, right? So all of the things that I thought about when We Lit, we kind of just incorporated it and Spoken with Purpose. So I think that you can get the best out of people if you allow them to naturally be them. And how am I help
Exactly.
you do that if I'm over here being too composed, right? Too relaxed.
Right.
Trying to get everything right. Now, of course, it's a process because, you figure out some things along the way that, hey, you can tweak
sure.
this, you can tweak that. But, man, I would rather be no other way.
Definitely. I think essentially, like, I kind of feel like with podcasting, it'd be kind of hard to keep people together. So, like, what made y'all disperse in a way and you keep going with it?
I think that the vision was always mine, right? So
Okay.
the fact that the vision was mine is the reason why I'm still here. I'm the one who had the passion for it, the drive for it, the one who was given the task. As far as why we broke up, one person eventually left the group. I'll go without details because I,
Yeah, right.
respect people's privacy and,
For sure.
keep people out of all your business.
Definitely.
And then my best friend, she was never really, because you got to expose yourself. You got to expose your life. So you can't ask somebody else to tell you all of their gutter shit. And then here it is, you want to keep some of your shit. So she wasn't an open book like the other two were. So that's pretty much why she fell back. And again, it was my thing. So I kept it open. I just switched it. And was just like, okay, how can I do this on my own? And figured it out.
Definitely. I feel like personally, it's kind of hard. It's kind of, for some people, it's hard to essentially get in front of that camera, have a conversation, and let people in.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was just like, I'm going to talk to this person, and
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them, like, tell all your business.
Right.
And I'm going to just ask you the questions. And then
You ain't gonna
essentially,
get that back.
essentially, once I started opening up and letting people
Yeah.
know, okay, I'm actually a human being.
Yeah.
This is actually something that I love to do. It brought more people to me. And
Yeah.
like I said, instead of me being more like trying to sit up all the time, look like, once I started being myself,
Yeah.
people started like, oh, I want to come sit down with this guy.
Yeah.
So that's what made me like, essentially, like, a lot of people talk good about you. Like, when I ask people about you, or
Thank y'all.
when I talk about you, or saying that we're gonna collab, or even when I sat down with you and we collabed on the post, and people like, oh, you finna go sit down with Miss Tanya? Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So it's like, people essentially know who you are and what you do. So what is like the crossroads in the sense where the hiatus come in a way of like, okay, I'm gonna take a scale back, because like you said, it's hard to keep up with this essentially and do it every single day.
Correct.
So
Correct.
what are you learning from that in a sense?
As far as why I've been on the hiatus from
Yes.
not doing the show, It's not that I don't want to do the show anymore. The passion is still there. The drive, has got a little relaxed. And it's because I've done so many things throughout the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Golly, so many changes. And then doing it on my own, it becomes a lot of work. Now, I'm not scared of the work, but I feel like if I can't figure out a creative way to bring forth a new vision for the show, then what I'm not going to do is allow people to force me to get back out there to do something that I'm not passionate about.
Definitely.
And I realize that a lot of my, like my people who supportive, they want to see me back out there, and I appreciate that. Trust me, the love, I appreciate all of the love, because who are you without them, right?
Right.
Well, I say that loosely, right? But nevertheless, I want to do it. But again, if I don't do it, if my heart is not in it, it's going to come through the screen, right? So I need a change, and I'm waiting on the Lord to, I got some things in my mind. It'll be an episode coming back, so I have some things going on, but it's not fully coming together. But at some point you got to put one foot in front of the other. So we're gonna see what it do.
Exactly. I just feel like us as creators, especially like here in Orlando, it's difficult sometimes because we gotta find inspiration. We gotta, like you say, just people smell when you're not at your best. Cause like I say, I yeah. So it's like when I get on this camera and I'm talking, people can tell like, hey. Yeah, that wasn't your best. Yeah, that wasn't your best episode. But I just continuously just throw my shots up as much as I can. Absolutely. And I think you can too. Yeah. Because like I said, I think just me always, like I always say, like I give people their flowers while they can smell them. And just me sitting with you, you gave me a newfound like respect in a way, or a newfound like level of understanding, because it's like we was having a good time. It was a good conversation. You had all the right questions, and we laughed a lot. Yeah. I went back and went to go watch it, and we laughed a lot, and people enjoyed it. Yeah. So it's like we need people like you essentially.
Oh, well, thank you.
So it's like we need people like you essentially to just keep on pushing, because at the end of the day, just the people that support you, like you were saying, we're nowhere without them. Yeah. So people are waiting and like trying to see, because even when I sat down and talked to T. Mary, he's like, I need her to come back. Yeah. She's somebody that's vital to the city and what they do. So it's like, what's something that like you get your hands on, like that you're touching? Because I see you do a little bit of, you go to events, you promote a little bit. Sure. So what's some things you get in your hands, if you don't mind sharing?
Sure. I'm also a part of, we call it TNN. So it's a group of podcasters that basically got together. We wanted to create this network, like our own network, where we could actually come together and share other people's, other people, like your podcast, like other people's content, right? So it's pretty much like one hand helps the other. Right, so if we have a big platform, you know what I'm saying, you can come over here and share it, and if we eat, then we're going to make sure that you eat as well. But it's some other things that we do as well. We also have events. So we have this upcoming event, which is a yacht party that we're having in Miami. Y'all make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying, come and have some party bus, so y'all ain't got to drive. So we'll get you there and we'll get you back. And we're going to make sure that if you want to drink, you're going to get there safely. But we have events, and then we also do things like when you think of podcasting, right? So sometimes you hit roadblocks where you have done so many things over and over again, and what you don't want to do is I don't want to become a copycat, right? So what we do is we have like this creative team where if you guys hit those roadblocks, and sometimes you need to be open to criticism, right? And then you also need to be open to other new things and new possibilities that can expand your platform, so we could be a creative team to other people as well.
Definitely. I need to get in touch with y'all so we could, because like I say, like, especially with you, Aspire, a couple other podcasters that I'm collecting with, I want to create something to where similar to that we all can bounce off ideas of each other. And
I love that.
So you won't even, so you probably like, if we all come together, you probably wouldn't even be able to take a break, because we'll be able to hold you accountable and also just grow with you as well. So that's why I was like, damn, that sounds great. That sounds similar to what I wanted to do. But essentially, like, I want to talk a little bit about mental health, because that's something that I really, I harp on with this platform, because at the end of the day, something you might say can help other people.
Correct.
And you being around those people that you're working with, that probably can also help with your mental health as well. So tell us a little bit how you feel about mental health and like roadblocks that you do to get over your
Right.
your darkest moments in a sense.
I think mental health is very important, you know, and I'm actually happy that they put a spotlight on it, right? Because a lot of people don't know exactly what the problem is, or that is, you know, they may notice that something is off, right, in their routine or in their mind, right, but they don't necessarily know exactly what it is. They can't put a finger on it, right? So
Right.
for people to have brought it to the light, now it makes people want to go and get attention, you know, like attend to that. So I think it's very important. I think it's also very vital to be able to be a functioning person in this society. You know, when I think not only about me, I got kids who you got to be in this world with, right? So I don't want you to take all your frustrations out and all your heavy loads out on my kids, and vice versa. I don't want my kids to do the same. So as far as to how I tend to deal with it, you know, it's crazy because people often tell me that it looks like I don't go through nothing, right? They say, because you're always smiling, you usually got something positive to say. And, you know, I think it's kind of asinine because I'm human, right? Just
Right.
because you may not see it or you may not get a chance to hear it, to think that I do not go through is just, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm human just like you. Right?
Definitely.
So, but what I do tend to do is when I'm going through, I am very picky about who I talk to.
For sure.
You know, I can talk to you about any and everything, but if I don't feel like, and I'm saying this kind of loosely, right? Because you don't really know unless you give a person a chance, right? But I need for you to be able to understand.
Definitely.
A lot of people don't always understand where I'm coming from. So it's more or less a questionnaire. Oh, well, why you did this? Why you did that? Oh, well, this is neat and that is. Listen, I needed some help, right? I needed to release. I needed some encouragement. I didn't want to be in the you know, get to know me type of situation, right? So I usually take solitude. Solitude is my method where, you know, I can go and, you know, again, in those solitude moments, it depends on what pushed me there, becomes my focal point. So like the podcast, lately that's been like my point of solitude.
Definitely.
So I'm writing down things that I hear, you know, all these different revisions, all the different topics, you know, all the things that's composed of a podcast is what I usually focus on. And then you just take your stuff away from everything.
Right.
But that's usually my go-to. And of course you have a village, but, you know, again, I'm very picky.
Definitely. I feel like, you know, especially like with people, like you say, you being very picky. I'm very picky when it comes to, because you never know. Some people, they just don't want good for you in a sense. Or they just, they see that you down, so they're going to kick you while you're down. And sometimes, I'm not saying they do it on purpose, sometimes that they don't know that they're doing it. So it's like, especially from you, nobody probably going to understand essentially what you're going through or understand essentially how you feel, because like you said, everybody's different and everybody has their own opinion, especially like now, because I had a conversation with my mom and her friends, and I always like to know, because I get a lot of flack for it, but I always try to push the women.
Right.
I'm big on women.
with that.
But, you know, as a male, it's like, why you always, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
At least you ain't a woman basher.
for sure, you know? So it's like,
There's a lot of them out here.
yeah, definitely. So it's like, I asked them, I was like, how do you feel now about the generation of women now and what they're doing and what they're going through and how they're dealing with it essentially? So in your opinion, how you feel about the women's generation in a nutshell?
Ooh. Younger, older?
I mean, just in a wide range. We don't want to specifically point at people, because then, you know, people be crying.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's
Don't hold back.
I think they're very. I think the women today are a lot more aggressive and a lot more driven, and a lot more educated. And I think that I won't necessarily say opinionated, but and when I say aggression, right? They usually go after what they want, right? That's work, that's career. And also men, right? You don't really have that real conservative woman that's gonna kind of sit back and let the man come to them, right? So you have women who, they're gonna go get what they want, despite whether you got a man or not, right? So it's not always, you know, may not be the best choice for the person on the other end, but nevertheless, I think aggression has its place. When I say driven, also in that same area when it comes to being educated and not necessarily have to sit down and wait for a man, because I think you have to get up and get it if ain't nobody gone. If you want to be that person who's more gender role specific, and the man is not holding up his end of the bargain, then you need that drive, right, to go out and go and get it. But yeah, that's what I pretty much think of these women. I think they would be,
Do you think like now, especially like now, because at one point women was just taking over the world in a sense, like no men was being highlighted. It was just straight like women, whether it was in the entrepreneur field, music, just in general, like even on the podcast realm, like women were taking over. So do you think like what took it there? What got to that point that the women not just drive, but what else took it there to the point where they reached that maximum level to like, oh, it's just women? Because at one point there was just women doing everything. You turn around, a woman was winning awards, everything. So, so what you think?
You recognize who you are, you become confident, and then there becomes a boldness, and now you have a voice. Who gonna stop me, right? You don't really have that in the back of your mind to the fact of saying, like, who gonna stop me, right? You just motivated. You know what I'm saying? You just going after all of your, your dreams and aspirations. But so I think that's the driving force for women, is recognizing that they have a voice and they want to be heard. Like, you don't have to, we often like to speak for each other when it comes to gender. It's like we like to speak for the men like to speak for the women. And 9 times out of 10, we really be wrong, right? So you ain't got to speak for me. Let me go ahead and do the speaking, right? So I think that's really what it is, because, women were silent for a minute, or even when we spoke, we weren't really heard, or nobody wasn't really taking you that serious. Or if they did, it was done behind the scenes. Ain't nobody really going to acknowledge you, and out loud. So we'll do it for each other, right? So at some point, I think that's what it is.
Definitely. I wanna go back a little bit, because I heard you say something that you said it was basically like essentially that people try to like get to know you in a way. What's some ways that somebody could just help you without helping you, in a sense?
Oh, you get deep. I just want to help me without
right.
Ugh.
Because it essentially, like, I was talking to someone on this platform as well, and she said a phone call or shooting out a text, or, just the general checkups, that what kind of helps her in a sense. So what's something that a gesture or something that people can do that can help you without helping you? Because essentially, me, I'm the type of person, I just want to be left alone. Like, hey, that, or you could shoot me a little text, or let me go on my little walks, or essentially something that helps without, that you didn't know that helps.
Well, for the people who are close to me, if I'm not calling, then that means I don't want to talk. Shoot me a text, right? Because you'll have people who call, and what you don't want to do is be rude. So I don't want to just hit the end button or just ignore your phone call. Those people I would prefer text. People who I don't necessarily personally know, but, when it comes to the podcast and want to be supportive, share something. Tag me in it. Right? Let me know that you think about me. Let me know that you want to see me on the platform. I'm cool with those messages. I check my messages. I might get a little pushback on that because I have been late with responding, but shoot me the message. Invite me to something. Like, I may not necessarily be doing the actual platform, but I'm still very much involved. Like, I'm still sending guests to other people, right? People are still, send me some guests. Trust me, if I'm flooded with guests, it's hard to ignore, right?
Definitely.
Shoot me that. I'm gonna make sure that I get them on the platform. Now, if you a reoccurring guest, which I do have a lot of people who want to be reoccurring, and I'm not to say that they're gonna be ignored, but I got you when I get back, right?
Definitely.
But if I'm flooded with a bunch of new guests, then that means that, okay, and I take that as a sign, as the Lord say, okay,
It's time.
Get your feet moving. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what are some like hobbies that you're into other than the podcast? Because essentially, podcasting is our safe place, is our solitude, is something that we love to do. What's something outside of that you're working towards that you do? Because, like I was telling you, I play flag football, I journal, I help other people. Those are my things that
Right.
outside of my platform that I do that essentially give me that boost immune system. You know.
If I'm being honest with you, probably nothing right now.
Really.
Yeah, it's really been off the grid. I mean, like really off the grid. But and that's because clearly that's just where I need to be at the moment. But other than that, I'm a family girl. I am not a clubber. Never really been a clubber.
No
right?
clubs for me.
Give me a sports bar and a beer. I'm good, right? Definitely used to do blogging. It started off with journaling, and then eventually it went to blogging. But I don't think I really have any hobbies. I like to talk.
For sure.
I like to talk.
So, definitely. So, now, talk about letting go of, like, fear. Because a lot of people, that's a lot of things that we kind of essentially skip over. We always fearing. Like, even myself, like, that's something I want to touch on with, like, some of my guests. Like fear, how we let go of fear and, like, pushing forward and our goals, essentially.
I'm not a fearful person.
How did you get like that? Is that something that always been embedded in you, or you came to understand that to let go of fear?
I'm scared of spiders if you want to talk about fear, but as far as scared of doing something, no, I don't. I'm not a person that's gonna allow. I don't let other people dictate, if that makes sense, right? So I don't let other people stop me from doing something, right? But in order for me to do something, I won't say that it have to make sense because I'm not a person who needs to make sense. But I guess in order for other people to understand, you got to speak it in the term of making sense. But no, in order for me to put my first foot forward, I have to know that that's the step that I need to take. But I'm not necessarily scared to take it, right? It's just I don't know how to articulate that. But I'm not a fearful person. I ain't kill less. I'm just not scared. Not scared of nobody physically. Not to say that somebody can't whoop you, because clearly I'm a woman, right? But you're going to have to show me, right?
Right.
But no, I'm not a fearful person. And I don't like to hear people talk about being scared, right? I don't inspire to be different. I may notice that I am different, but my goal is not to outdo you, right? My goal is to be me. And I don't like to be compared, because I feel like even if I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be me, and me and your path is not the same, and people like to be like, oh, okay, so her race is stronger, or I like hers, or I think it is better. I don't like when people compare. No, that's his lane, is my lane, right?
Right.
So I don't have a fear, and I don't want to be a copycat. So fear is not a concern of mine.
Definitely.
I don't even really like to talk about the devil. I hate when I hear people put the devil in conversations.
Why?
I think he's irrelevant. He's a non-factor. God is all-knowing, all-powerful. God is in control of everything, right? So if he's in control of everything, again, if you put good and bad on something, then obviously when we think of bad, we automatically think that is the devil, right? But if God say he's in control of all, and if you think about Job, he had permission. He had to get permission, right?
Right.
So if he gave him permission, then
nobody can stop you, essentially.
exactly. So you're a non-factor, right? You had to get permission to do that. And if God gave you permission, then again, why would I be scared, right? I think we give him way more glory than what he needs. So fear is not a factor for me.
Definitely. So you talked about you being a mother. Talk about motherhood and how that. Why every time I talk to them, all they always say that?
Cause it's a job. It's a task, man. Don't have no kids. Listen, if I could give any advice, and I don't know if I should be giving the advice, right? Don't have no kids, man. They listen, even when they're not yet grown, they still your kids. That responsibility never leaves you. never leaves you. You're gonna always have that. Now the level of responsibility may change, but man, I love the kids, but it's a hell of a lot. It's a hell of a lot to be a parent, right? Because you over here doing what you feel like is best for the kids, right? You teaching them everything that you feel like they need to know.
Hold on. I know you're enjoying the video, but I got one quick message for you. Struggling to find balance, struggling with mental health, struggling with your path. I got the perfect guide for you. My ebook down in the link below. Click the link and get your copy today.
Go out into this world, trying to make sure that they're respectable, trying to make sure that they're educated. It's a whole bunch of loving and nurturing, and want to make sure that they're considerate, and also want to make sure that they're patient. It's just a whole bunch of things that go into parenting, and when they become adults, I often say that I would rather have my kids younger than older. And I think I say that because my kids are not yet coming to their own, right? So it still feels like I'm parenting, you know what I'm saying, these little kids, but they're growing because now they're opinionated. Like now they actually can say no, and I don't want to do that, right? But when they were younger, I can make you do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't really shut your mouth, right? So now it's just a lot, man. Parenting is a hell of a lot, and if you're not, I don't want to say if you're not ready for it, then don't do it, because who's ever going to be ready? Correct. But it just comes with a lot of responsibility, and you can no longer be selfish. It's not about just you anymore.
I hear that a lot when it comes to like parenting. It's like, so do you have girls? Do you have boys?
I have 3 kids. My oldest is a girl, and my other 2 are boys.
Yeah. Oh, so you got the. So it's like, how was that like experience? Cause
I really got 3 boys, but go ahead.
So how was that experience? Cause I didn't have a sister growing up. I had straight brothers. So it's like, how was it like? Cause they always say you want your kids to be in the shadow of you, in a sense. I don't know if you ever heard that. No. Yeah, they like, you want your kids to essentially like be better than you, or like, grow up and like, and it's like, how, because it goes back to what I was saying about fear, in a sense, because like you were saying, it's like you want them to have all these attributes, all these traits, and how do you trust that they'll like make those right decisions and do what you instilled to them?
You don't know. It's trial and error. It's sit back and watch. Really? Right? It's sit back and watch. What can we do?
Because there's parents out there that try to stop their kid from not touching that stove.
Absolutely.
Even though they know that's like already told them.
But then when you turn your back, them jokers still go touch that stove, right? Right. So it's trial and error. So you come back in and you just like, God darn it, I told your ass not to touch that damn stove. But now you know it's hot, right? It's experience, right? It's always the best teacher. Right, but it's just trial and error. Again, you teaching them what you feel like you want them to know because you think that that's what's best for them. But these kids have to figure out, because again, I'm my own person. They're their own person as well. I had to come into my own, right? Because I noticed that I wasn't my parents, right? So I now realize that my kids have to figure that out too. Like, I'm not you, right? Right. And so they can take things, but they're only going to take what they feel like is vital to whom they are. Right. And we may not always feel like that's the best decision, because, oh my goodness, my kids show me that all the time, right? I'm not you. And just because that worked for you, it ain't going to work for me, right? And I want to go this direction. And I battle with that, trying to, pray them out of things. Man, remember when my kids attempted to get in the streets? And they hadn't got into some trouble. And, I thought, what I figured was best was to make sure that I kept money in their pocket, right? It just becomes a coddling, right? So now they're relying upon you where they don't even want to get up and go get it on their own. It's trial and error, man.
Definitely. It's
trial and error. They can write all the handbooks they want to.
Definitely. So, what's something that you would tell your younger self as far as like you looking in the mirror as you and you versus you essentially.
Yeah.
What's something you would tell yourself, like what the conversation would be like?
Stop trying to carry the load of everybody else. Right? Stop trying to be misfix it.
Mm.
I'm always trying to fix somebody else's issue, right? And whatever that looks like. If it was, if my ear gates was privy to it, then I feel like I'm required to do something, right? So I would tell my younger self to don't be so quick to move to help, and not everything has to be a yes, right? And I think those are very important, and I think that they have to be given out in order for someone else to move, right? So if you're always giving out all these yeses, why would you do anything, right? So to not help, not to carry the weight of everybody else on my shoulders, because now I not only have my weight to carry, I got yours too.
Definitely. I feel like that's something that we always, as humans who have big hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because I can't speak for everybody else, but carrying the weight of other people can also suck the energy out of you, essentially. And it's like, it makes you depressed because now you carrying two heavy weights on your back.
Yes.
So it's like, how did you overcome that, being a yes woman, essentially?
I ain't perfected it. I don't know if it will ever be perfect. I don't even know if I wanted it. I don't even know if I want it to be perfected, right? Again, it trials and tribulations makes me know that God is still real, right? So when they say I won't give you no more than what you can bear, is because you're not able to bear anything. You give it to me, and I'll take care of it, right? But we often try to play God. So I don't think that
we
I
definitely
perfected it at all, right? But what I've noticed is I'm not quick to make a decision. I'm not so quick to be like, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I help. Oh, no problem. I got that. Shoot, what? Come on over here. Right? I'm not so quick, because I used to be so, I want people to know I'm here. I got you. Right? You don't have to do this alone, right? I'm your listening ear, right? I can come to you. What? I can take you here, right? It was always just me, giving. I'm not so quick to move anymore. I'm waiting for something, if you will.
Definitely.
Unction, a sign or something.
Definitely. So, how do you feel about now, like all the protesting, all the stuff that's going on around us, especially here in Orlando? To be honest with you,
Protesting about what?
I don't know.
Because I'm not a news person. I'm not a big social media person either.
I'm not a big news person either, but I just seen a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
Like in my face now.
Yeah.
And it always talks about like history repeating itself, like we're going back into the old days to where things are people are starting to speak out. Like you said, everybody's so opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's opinion based.
Mm-hmm.
Just like us as podcasters, it's our opinion, essentially how we feel. So it's like, I wanted to get your take on it.
Do what you're led to do is how I feel about it. All right? Do what you're led to do is how I feel about it. I don't somebody got to do it, I guess.
They do. I ain't got that power to do it because it just comes to it's because I feel like it's just a conflict of interest. Because like I said, it's just like some people feel strongly of it, and then some people don't, and then there's people in the middle that's like, I don't even know what's going on.
Well, if they didn't say that, you wouldn't know, right?
Right.
So, but again, I don't have to agree with you,
Right.
and it's also okay for me to disagree with you, right? We just always feel like we gotta say something, right? Everybody, like, everything don't deserve a response. Man, let them people talk. Let them people do what they're gonna do. Now, as long as it ain't bothering you, and it's only concerning certain things, right? Because certain things have to be addressed. But if it ain't bothering you, let them people do it. Leave them people. That's their business, right? And I ain't got to say shit about that. I may not agree with kiki ha ha. And I might say what I need to say to myself, right? But I'm not gonna jump on nobody else's bad wagon to shit on what you got going on.
Definitely.
Right? And now if I believe in it, then, oftentimes I don't champion nobody on either. But if I really feel strongly about it, I'll champion you on too. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion.
I like the fact that I want to give you a flowers. I like the fact that like you kind of like listen to the question and then you just analyze it and then you speak. Some people they not hear, but I just hear they just answer. They're so quick to answer and respond in a way like they not really thinking about what the person is saying. Essentially, they just kind of just answer to respond. They're not answering to listen and then project what they gotta say, and then they be like, "Oh, I wish I would have never said that," or "Oh, damn, why I sound."
I didn't really answer the question.
Yeah, or I feel stupid because I sound dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I notice like every time I ask you a question, it's kind of like you kind of like listen to it, like, okay, how can I say the right thing?
Yeah.
So when this essentially do come out, you like, okay, I answered every question to the best of my abilities. That's kind of what I'm learning, because I was one of those people that would answer a question and be like, damn, I should have answered like that, or I should have asked this question better in a way. So it's kind of like now I'm just kind of just seeing it in the forefront, essentially.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think I still deal with it, right? Because comprehension is big. Right. So, and I, to be honest with you, I learned a lot of that from the show. Cause I'm like, damn, I ain't even answering people's question. Or they was talking about this, and this was my response, and I'm like, that what the people was talking about, right? And I know they had to be over there like, what? Like I don't know if you watch your shows, but I used to watch my shows and I critique my own shows so I can make them better. But that's how I learned. To be honest with you, and it's still not perfected, but that's how you figure out, because you look like you don't make no sense. You like you just rambling.
Right. I mean, for me, I used to watch my shows, but I kind of don't watch them no more, which I'm finna get back to doing because I want to add a little. Like you said, I'm always trying to figure out how to level up my platform and level up the people that I'm bringing on to attract more people to come sit down as well, and just to make it make sense for everybody and to make it look good. So I just feel like now it's kind of like I have a script, I go by it, and then I just go from there essentially. So that's basic, and I've been reading a lot more, like a lot more. So it's like
you already read when I talk to you.
Yeah, so it's like I just no, but I had stopped.
Okay.
There was a point where it was like I wasn't doing nothing. And I always, and I know you said this earlier, but it's like when you're bored and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that's essentially the devil's playground in a way. So I kind of had to reassess.
Devil's workshop.
Yeah. So I had to reassess and grow from that and get back to what I'm good at, essentially.
Yeah.
So, So I want to ask you a question. Sure. If you had 5 dinner guests at a table with you, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Obama.
Okay.
He's handsome, right? No, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. He is handsome, right? But he seems very humble to me. I want to get close to him and be in his presence long enough to see, not to say if it's real, but I just want to I want to be in that presence, right? And of course I can learn from him. Gosh, this is a tough question. Shit. They could be dead or alive?
Yeah.
Paul. He's from the Bible, right? I felt like Paul was very wise, right? And he understood a lot of things that we don't necessarily understand. And I want to not necessarily pick his brain, but I want to hear him, right? Because I think we're copycats, right? So I don't want to duplicate what somebody else done. But if I could, to see it in motion, like in real time, is why I will want Paulette to see. My sister, she's no longer here with us.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, well, thank you. Her name is Coach Cheryl. And that's simply because I miss her. You know, yeah, I miss her. My pops also. He's gone, and I miss him. But how is that 5 or is that 4?
That's for Obama, Paul, and your 2 family members.
Oh, you make me dig. Mm. Mel Gibson.
Mm. That's a new one. Why him?
Somebody white need to be to the table. This is what I was thinking, right?
Don't necessarily. It's your table. You can have
Right.
whoever you
Yeah.
want there.
So somebody white need to be at this table. Um, because I feel like nobody will put somebody white at the table, right?
Mhm.
I want him to be there because I don't think that I think cultures are different, right? And I realize a lot of the movies that he put out makes me want to understand him more.
Right.
Right, I want to pick his brain a little bit. I kind of
Definitely.
want to see why he thinks the way that he thinks, and Mel, yeah.
Definitely. So if you had any superpower in the world, what would it be and why?
Ooh. Ooh. The ability. How do I say this? How do I say this? The ability to take away everybody's memory that causes them to hold grudges.
Mm. Mm.
But it has to be done with a, in order for me to be able to take, like they got to work together, right? To take away that, they also have to provide grace.
What would you call that though?
Forgiveness, shit.
Mm. Okay. So, what's something that you're no longer apologizing for? Something that, like, okay, this is where, like, basically, essentially, a boundary. What's something that's like, hey, I'm standing on this line, and that's it.
Oh. For the most part, I was giving like T.I. If I said it, then I meant it. And what?
For sure, definitely. Because I was telling people like now, like it might sound cliche, but I'm taking the villain role. Like I'm just gonna. That's just who I am. That's what stage in life I'm in right now.
Yeah.
This is my season to do what I want to do, essentially, and how I feel.
I like that.
So it's not like, and I want to say it's like a bad villain role. It's just like,
I didn't get that at all.
yeah. So it's just like it's my season, just because I was essentially watching this webinar, and the guy was like,
that a lot.
yeah, I was essentially watching this webinar, and the guy was saying, it's like, who's the person in this community that is always doing stuff for people, essentially always, like we were saying, taking on the weight and saying, I'm on God's strongest soldier list again. He's like, when you gonna take that back?
Yeah.
When are you gonna be the person to be like, okay, this is my season?
Yeah.
Because he said once he took it on upon himself,
Yeah.
he was 300 pounds. Now he's down to like 200 pounds.
Oh, I don't know if I would ever be able to do that.
What you mean?
I don't know if I would ever be able to just focus, like be. I don't want to call it selfish, but I don't know. That's the best way for me to explain it, right? I don't know if I could ever be that selfish to only be concerned about me. Because, people are like, oh, you got to take care of you, take care of you. Don't be concerned about everybody. I don't know if I could. I don't think the Lord created. I don't think it's in my DNA. I don't think it's in this creation.
I think it's because I used to say the same thing, and it's like you get to a point where you just get tired of being tired. You probably didn't get to that point yet.
I'm tired all the time, right? But it's tired because of our way of thinking, right? So let's just say, like I'm tired of paying all these damn bills, right? I ain't got it. People keep asking you for something. I'm not the bank, right? Stop asking me. It's you hear all this negativity, right? What I had to recognize is, shit, if you feel like everybody is at you, taking, then of course you're going to feel drained, right? But if I had to change my attitude, right, and say, Lord, I thank you that I'm in a position to have it. Not always in a position to have it, right? And shit, that's a whole different ball game when you don't got it. That's a whole different weight because now you feel like you got to go get it, right? But I think you just have to change your attitude. About if I feel like if you hungry, who am I to not feed you? Right? I got a refrigerator full of food, and he talking about you hungry. Lord, I pray that you find Lord, send this man something to eat. And I got a whole refrigerator full of food, right? No, and then here it is. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. No, you need to go work. Get up, go work. Oh yeah, refrigerator full of food. Go eat. Get you something to eat. Now go find a job.
Definitely.
All right, but no, I just think I don't know if I'm ever be able to not help.
I feel that.
Or just focus on me. My bad.
So, if you had an actress to play you in your biography, who would it be?
TT.
TT, who's TT?
TT from Set It Off. You can't start me. Kimberly Elise. I could have the name wrong.
Set It Off cast. Cause I'm tired of not knowing who.
I can't believe that you don't even know TT.
Oh, I was just watching a movie with her last night. It was the John Q movie. Mm-hmm. I was watching it. She was the wife. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be good. I think her or Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah, that was gonna be my second response.
So I think those two good. Why her though? Why? Because a lot of people. She's very underrated, in my opinion.
I agree. Whatever she does for me comes through the screen, and I think she's passionate about it, right? And it's
John, you gotta do something,
right? And I'm a little loud, but I feel right that where I'm coming from is soft and humble, right? And I think that she would be able to, because she is so soft spoken, right? I still think that she would be able to
channel you.
Yeah. And Taraji would be my next. I can't even think of nobody else. But yeah, definitely Kimberly, at least the first person.
Damn, that's fire. That's crazy. So, if you had a book that you was writing, what would it be titled?
Ooh, Hear Me.
Why?
And it's not here, H-E-A-R. It's H-E-R-E. Like here I am. But technically you gotta listen, right? But it will be Hear Me. Because you gotta, like in order for you to you gotta in order for you to invite me to this platform, I had to come, right? And now that I'm here, I gotta give you something, right? So it's me giving you me. It's just me letting you know I'm here, and this is what my here looks like. Definitely.
So next question: if you could tell, I'm tripping. So what would you want to be remembered by? What would you want the world to remember you by? Mm-hmm. And what's like 3 words to describe you? 2-layer question.
What I want somebody to remember me. I want someone to remember me as being loving, non-judgmental, and forgiving, present. Present. There you go. Loving, giving, present.
Definitely.
Yeah. Loving, giving, present.
Okay. So, anything you want to give out to the world? Anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Stay you. Right? not only stay, you will be you. I won't even say figure you out, because life is going to allow you to come into that, and just make sure you enjoy the process along the way. Like don't be so hard on yourself. Feel like everything you do is not right, right? Because I think that everything is intentional, right? Just embrace it, love it, and don't be scared. I ain't say put a mask on, go on out there and do shit.
Sure. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate this conversation. Like I said, a long time coming. I want to get you and Miss Aspire podcast together. Yes. Both of y'all, us three, we sit down, we talk. So I think that'll be a dope pod. But appreciate you. Hopefully we get some episodes coming from you soon, because I'll be pushing it. But yeah, man, this is What We're All Thinking podcast, Stories Behind the Craft. We out. Peace.